So, numbers. That might be a really bad one. But we all like numbers, right? I mean, they're pretty nice. But what if we had negative numbers? Well, okay, sure. Yeah, negative numbers, like -7. Here's a little hint. This sucks. See all these numbers and the other ones I didn't write here because I was too lazy. These all have a little thing I like to call personality. While the negative numbers are just these with a boring line before them. So, I have a proposition. What if we made the negative numbers cool? So, first off, we gotta start with 1. Now, -1 usually looks like this, right? And my first thought was, what if we just combined the line with the 1? But then, that gets us this, which is just a plus. And I think a plus is the last thing you want to represent a negative number. So instead, hear me out, we take the line and we move it down. Okay, that's kind of long. It should look more like this. We move it like this. This is -1. And it's a design that's... it's fine. And also, if you write your one like this with the thing at top, and even that, you can make that work, right? But this is fine looking as of now. But as we go down the list of numbers, this one might be problematic. I don't really know how much I like this one yet, but it is what it is. So next we have 2. So here's our 2. And a design philosophy I had for a lot of these numbers is, what if we just take some part of the number and mess it up? Flip it around, change it, switch it, do something really dumb to make it look like a different symbol. So instead of 2 curving down and then going right, it now curves down and goes left. That was kind of long, but yeah, it now curves down and goes left. So this is our -2. And this is kind of like the pattern that a lot of the other ones fit, and that's part of the reason why the -1 design, I think, is so weird. But you'll see what I mean as we keep going. So let's just move on to 3. Now, initially, for 3, one of the ideas I workshopped was, what if we just flip around one of these sections, right? So what if we do that? That's just a backwards S. And even worse if we flip the top one around, because that's just an S. Like, that's not a negative number. What are we doing? So instead, I decided to look at the parts that make up the letter. So we have 2 bumps and 1 point. So my thought was, what if we swap the points and the bumps? Which means that our -3 looks a little bit like this. It's like, kind of like wings, or like a cursive U sideways. Now, admittedly, this one looks really out there, but I think it kind of fits in with the whole design of the negative numbers being weird, which is really what I want to go for with these. I want them to look very off, but like in a good way where they all look off, you know? So this is my design for 3. Next up, we have 4, and you can write 4 a bunch of different ways. Don't worry, I have ways for all of this. Like all of them. I have a design for all of them. So, first off is normal 4, right? Or this is what I call a normal 4. I guess it's like the triangle 4. So what we want to do for really all the 4s is, this is actually one where I'm going to take a selection so I can really show you what I'm doing with the design. But first, let's just draw it so you can see. I'm so bad at it. I'm like so bad at drawing a GIMP. So this is our -4 design. Now you might be thinking, this is stupid. This looks really dumb. I would agree with you if it were not for the fact that the -4 design this admittedly looks very bad, but scratch over the white part and it's just a 4. We just took these lines and moved them here and here. So the -4 is a weird corruption of the number 4. It makes sense. And the best part is you can do this for the other designs of 4 as well. So if you draw 4 like open like this one kind of sucks, but it's like this. Okay, this one looks really bad, but you get what I mean. And then if you do the weirdo like half of each 4, you get one of these, which is also weird. Like, admittedly, the other 2 4 designs don't look good with this number, but it's fine because I don't draw 4 like that. Okay, so now 5. What could I possibly do for a negative number 5? This is -5. Now, I hear you all right now. This is incredibly lazy. But it wasn't even supposed to be, because you see, my initial idea for the design of -5 is that we have, well, I mean, it's upside down now, but it's that we have straight lines up here, and then curve section down here. So if we start with the curve section, and then go to straight lines, it looks like this. Little did I know, this is just an upside down 5, but I think it fits, and you are supposed to write it from top to bottom. I mean, you could do that. No, you can't. I can't. So yeah, that's 5. It looks lazy, but I promise I wasn't trying to be lazy with it. Now 6 is this. I don't know about this one. This one doesn't really, I don't know if this one really like, well, let me flip the image. I mean, this looks like a 6 that's like having the laziest day of his life right now. That's what this looks like flipped. So this one's really just more based on like the kind of feel and like how it is to draw. So it isn't, I don't really have a specific reason why 6 looks like this, but I thought it would be cool. Which means that if we're doing 6, I feel like it's only right to do 9 right now. So I write my 9s like this. You can also write them like, okay, well, that looks stupid. You can write them like that. But I write them like this. But you know what? That doesn't even matter, because -9 is just this. So it goes in hand with -6. There's still like a pair of numbers. They just look honestly a lot stupider, but I like it. It gives them a weird feeling that I think makes sense for being negatives. So next up, we have 7. Not doing the line 7, but I guess you can do it with this design. So originally, I had a lot of trouble coming up with the idea for 7. My best design was this. And when this is your best design, you know something's wrong. So I thought, what if I take this design, just add stairs to it, make it look bent out of shape. That's really it. That's really all that went into this one. I just flipped the 7 around and then added stairs to it. In fact, it kind of looks like an M. Hold on. Yeah, that looks like an M. So, I don't know, it doesn't even really matter. It doesn't look that much like an M, so it's probably fine. No one's gonna get that confused anyways because of the angle. Which means that we end with 8. But I don't want to do 8 yet, because I want to tackle 0 first. I'm just kidding. There's no -0. -0 is not a thing. This is not real. 0 is neither positive nor negative. I believe that at least one person would be like, why didn't you make a -0 design? Why didn't you make a -0 design? Because there is no -0. It's not a number. All the other negative numbers exist. Like, this is real, which means that making this design is warranted. Making something like this for -0 is just stupid, because that's not a thing. So, no -0. You know what else is stupid? -8. This is -8. Now I know what you're thinking. Pop hip 10. How? How is this in any way related to this? Well, the trick is, it's not. I was kind of just scribbling in a way similar to drawing an 8, and I just so happened to make this design. But I think there's actually something about it that makes it feel like the number 8. And that is because we have a circle here, and then this section, which would normally be the bottom circle of your 8, but it's just kind of like burst open down here. It's just like kind of all foiled about, and I think that's a really interesting design for a -8. So the question is, when would you use these? And I think the answer is kind of obvious. When you're doing negative numbers. So like, if you want to write -17, you wouldn't write this. You wouldn't write this. You would write this. There's always the possibility of writing something like this, because that's like a -2 and a 3, and I guess this would represent like -20 plus 3. So this is kind of like an equation of itself, or like this equals -17. So although it's kind of just a design change, like at its core, you technically can do like weird math with these that you couldn't do otherwise, because you'd have to write -20 plus 3, and that's like really boring. So if you just do the -2 and then the 3, that's the -20 positive 3, that like makes sense. You know, and that's like kind of like a shorthand, which I think is really nice. So, yeah, those are my negative number designs. I think, well, they're definitely not perfect, and one is definitely kind of like a weirdo after seeing all of them. I think it's just nice that the negative numbers, or at least in terms of my designs, that negative numbers kind of have something. They're like kind of parallel to the positive numbers now, because before they're just kind of off. Like they have no charm or soul or really anything put into them. But now, all lined up, they feel like two sides of the same coin, which is what they should be, because you know, they should be two sides of the same coin. And sometimes I question why they're not. I'd really like to see some sort of official negative number design get used. Probably not these. This would probably never happen. But, you know, a guy can dream, I guess. I hope this doesn't, like, go off the screen. I'm not even actually checking that right now. But yeah, these are our negative numbers. Thank you for listening to me ramble about them.